Before I let you go, I wanted to ask you one more thing. Back to the Cormier MIOCIC fight. And can you just talk to the fans a little bit about what happens when Cormier gets poked in his left eye? What does he now become susceptible to with that limited vision there, or possibly no vision at all in the left eye? Maybe talk to about what kind of punches he's really exposed to.
Well, he's exposed to the right hand because it's on that side. It's on the opposite, it's on the same side. It's on the side of the left eye. And so it's interesting you bring that up because in the end, I guess it didn't matter. But during the course of the fight, as I was watching it, getting ready to comment on it, like, we are now, I remember making a note. I wrote, I bring paper with me. So I made a real quick note. I said, not taking advantage enough. MIOCIC.
MIOCIC.
How do you say him again?
MIOCIC.
Yeah. Can you imagine? You're my grammar teacher. MIOCIC. Imagine that. A guy who speaks like Orson Welles. I need a guy from Boston to be my wow. But I appreciate you, Ken. So, and again, we don't hide anything here. I hope that counts for something. So anyway, I remember making a note saying that MIOCIC was not taking enough advantage of the injury, of the opportunity that's there, because life's about taking opportunity, taking advantage of opportunity. I mean, it's always about that, and look, it's misfortunate that this great fighter got poked in the eye, but it happens. So at that moment, later on, you could hug him, kiss him, but at that moment, it's about winning. And if it gives you a better chance to win, take advantage of it. So fighters do it all the time. A guy's cut, the blood's going down on that side of the eye. They're going to go on that side with the attack a little more because they know the vision blurred. They're impaired there. They know they have difficulties seeing over there. So they're going to take advantage of it. And I made a note, like, MIOCIC is not pushing the envelope enough, if you will, taking enough advantage of that opportunity with obviously impaired vision there. And obviously he didn't know that he was blind, but he knew he was injured. He knew something was impacted. And when he threw the right hand, he landed it much easier. So it should have clicked in his head, hey, yeah, there's something wrong here. I'm landing this a little easier than I should be. And he should have went to it a little more, without getting ridiculous where maybe you go to it and then the guy times you because you're going too much. But you should have pushed the envelope a little bit. And I remember thinking that at the end, it didn't matter because he won the fight. He got the fight. But definitely to your question, the answer is, yeah, you can't pick up that punch on that side. And what I would tell a fighter, once you think you have that advantage, you think you have it, I would say, get the good eye to travel over here. Take the good eye completely out of the picture, completely, out of play, where you basically, I know this is going to sound terrible, but it's fighting and you do what you got to do at that moment. You didn't cheat. You didn't go in there and hit him with a bat. It's part of the circumstances in the realm of this tough business, right? So, and to the credit of MIOCIC, he got poked earlier.
That's right.
It wasn't as bad, but it could have been. So what I would tell a fighter is, that he's been compromised over here with his left eye, so he's going to have trouble seeing this. So I would tell him, we're going to make him blind. Yeah, I know, again, it sounds awful, but we're basically, for one moment, going to make him blind. We're going to take the good eye, which might pick up some of this. We're going to take it completely away. We're going to distract him with a left hand over here as a decoy, just to get his good eye here, boom, and then throw the right hand over there and literally catch him blind. that's what you're dealing with. And having said all that, that's why I'll say it again to the UFC people out there and the MMA world. That's why these guys are so damn special, and they deserve everything they can get. And the fighters too, the boxers too. I always say that because of what they risk.
Yeah.
And here's a guy, Cormier. If you needed any more proof before he ends his career, his great career, how special he is, and where his place has been earned to be in his business, all you had to do was see the way he behaved with one eye.
Yep.
Extraordinary.
To say the least.
It made me think a little bit in my business way back in the 40s, Ken. You know what? Rob's going to get this up for me. I know, because I count on my man. I call my man. My man always comes through for me. I come through for him too, but he always comes through for me and for you. Carmen Basilio, one of the toughest guys in any kind of fight business. He was a former welterweight champ of the world. Carmen Basilio was fighting arguably the greatest fighter of all time. And we're talking about boxing with a history of goes back maybe 2,500 years, back to the early Olympics, back to when the Greeks had boxing. It goes back that far. There's no sport, baseball, nothing that's been around longer than boxing. And Sugar Ray Robinson had almost 200 fights. A lot of people consider him the greatest fighter of all time. Basilio was fighting him in a rematch. He beat him the first time. When you never beat Robinson twice. The good news when you beat Robinson was that you beat him. The bad news, when you fought him again, you had no shot. That was the bad news. Automatically. Good news, you won. Congratulations, kid. Here's the bad news. You got to fight him again. Hush. You didn't beat him. You didn't beat him.
Yeah.
And so Basilio's fighting him in a rematch, and I call it the Cyclops Fight. You know what a Cyclops, and Rob's going to get both these things up. He's going to get the Cyclops because there's people out there like Cyclops. They want to see, I don't know, I heard they like Cyclops. But a picture of Basilio in this fight after this fight. Basilio's one eye is gone, just gone, closed completely, and he's like a Cyclops. And he's fighting the great Sugar Ray Robinson, throughout whatever part of the fight, like that. And he goes the distance, and he loses the decision to him. And to show you the mentality of these men, of these people, just like the UFC guys, special is special, whether it's 1940 or it's 2020. And it's always appreciated. And I'll always applaud it whenever I can and bring light to it whenever I can to people like that. After the fight, the journalists went up to Basilio and they said, Carmen, don't you believe that if your eye wasn't closed the way it was, that you would have had a better chance maybe of winning this fight, that maybe you would have won this fight? And guys that go through what Basilio went through, just like guys like Cormier, they don't allow any excuses to even permeate, to leak. They don't allow leakage. No leakage. None. Not even a drop. What does he say to this journalist? He says, what are you talking about? My other eye was good. My other eye was good. What are you talking about? There was nothing wrong with the other one. That's the attitude.